Hello guys, and welcome back to Joe's Ventures. And today we're doing another episode of our devlog. So we've got another we've got another dev diary because it's been another month. All that how that goes. So really excited to get stuck into this one. So this will be for July for 2026. Let's have a look right through it. Okay, so welcome to the July Development Diary. A week ago, we put out a survey to gather feedback and see how the community felt across various parts of the game. To our surprise, we've received a staggering 4,000 responses within the first 24 hours. You absolutely destroyed our measly target of 1,000, so very impressed by that. Looking over results, community sentiment for the core game seems to greatly align with our internal plans and the direction we were already heading. For more hypothetical questions, like what extra management features you'd like to see, the winners were also inclined with what we expected. It's clear that you really want to see temperature come into play. Yeah, temperature come into play, because, we've got animals that come from the Arctic and some that come from, tropical areas. So yeah, I think that makes a very important part as well. The team will continue to collect your results and discuss how we can honour some of those most important parts of your feedback for full release. We may end up doing another survey after Update 18, so stay tuned and thank you for your responses. So yeah, would like having impact on that. So if you weren't in the loop, they did do a survey a couple of weeks ago, I think. Really, really important because they want to know when things want to go, and it's good to know that they kind of aligned quite well. And yeah, a lot of cool stuff hopefully coming. I'm very, very keen on that. So, state of development. So, a new patch is coming soon. Update 17.1 will bring a host of challenges, bug fixes, and stability improvements to address various player reports, reported issues in relation to animal behavior, disabled call staff buttons, and more. We've also added enclosure renaming and an outline that appears when an animal has been selected, but not tracked by the camera. So that's quite cool there, I like that one. So you can see it just happening on that Joexia. Thank you for your amazing support surrounding Update 17. We're bringing even more partner animations to the game, with some of our favourites being a Velociraptor Shuffle, a cat fight, and 2 extra head-butting duels for Pachycephalosaurus. So please look forward to this. Let's have a look. That's impressive. That's very, very cool. I just played that twice because it was going really fast, so I made sure you guys get a good look. But that's really cool. Okay, Update 18. In case you haven't been keeping up with our roadmap, Update 18 is going to be our last major update before Prehistoric Kingdom leaves early access next year. While even more content will arrive at full release, Update 18 is going to be adding the final gameplay pieces of security, engineers, and breakouts to challenge mode. Since the team is currently focused on wrapping up Update 17.1, we'll be discussing some of Update 18's other aspects until production on the next update begins properly. So, expanded management view. As a management game, there are a lot of things that players need to be aware of and keep up with. To help with this and better support some new features coming to the game, we're expanding the management view with extra overlay options, including some requested by you in the survey. For example, to help see how your animals are doing in the park, we'll be adding new views to check their needs and even track them of where you've placed nests, which ones have been claimed, and which animals are pregnant. So, that's what we got here. So, animal needs. So, this kind of keeps track of it real quick. Animal health, hunger, current thirst. So, that'd be a really cool little way. I hope it kind of gives you like a little bar, so it fills up and down, kind of tells you what they need. Very, very cool. I like that concept art. The UI in Prehistoric Kingdom is pretty good. And you can see that here as well. So the blue ones, the pink ones are pregnant animals, and these are the nests. So empty nest, claimed, and that's a claimed birthing bed. So yeah, it just helps, anything, little things like that really do help. In addition to new management overlays, we're refreshing some of the current ones too. For example, the navigational the navigable areas for animals, guests, and staff will be kept under one button rather than spread in separate places. So that's called navigation. So you can see your animals, and then you can see your guests, and then obviously your staff. So I think they just made it one big nav thing, which is quite good. I think that works quite well. This one's quite cool as well. I'm actually quite excited for this one. Expanded nature requirements. While many of the animals coming to the game from specialized environments, so they come from specialized environments like deserts, sweeping plains, and swampy wetlands, we've found ourselves longing for more depth when it comes to the nature requirement in challenge mode. Right now, the only factors you really need to consider is the total foliage and water percentage of an enclosure. While simple, this does mean there's very little challenge to overcome when designing your habitats. These factors also don't do a great job at describing an animal's true environment, leaving things very open-ended for players who aren't familiar with a given species. To expand upon this, Update 18 will introduce 4 nature types that must be balanced depending on the animal. The requirements are forest, scrub, plains, and barren. So let's have a good there. So you can see here, there's some forest, scrubs, plain, barren, and a water area. So yeah, it looks really, really cool. Some changes, and you can see the packies there. Really, really awesome little hygia. So these are just mock-ups. So nature coverage. So as you paint terrain, textures, and different foliage, your nature cover will begin to change. For example, a basic enclosure consisting of grass will be considered 100% plains. If we add a couple brushes, it's now 25% scrub and 75% plains, like this here. So you can see now that's brilliant. However, if we add trees to the empty area, the plains value continues to decrease as we instead gain forests. So you can see that's where it's going there. So it's still half plains. And if we were to paint trees over the existing scrubs, that too would become forest. Think of it as a priority system with bigger foliage overriding whatever sits beneath. So yeah, that makes sense. So you can see painted over the scrub with the trees, and that makes it as forest. So there's no scrub anymore. To make our enclosure barren, we want to remove any foliage in the area and only use terrain paint such as dirt, sand, rock, and snow. Alternatively, we can create plains by painting grass, textures, or adding ferns, dandelions, and other grass-like plants on top of the barren area. So you can see this is painting it. So that's barren, and then you put these on here. This covers the plains. So that's really, really cool. I actually quite like that. With these new rules, we can deliver much more guidance for what is an ideal environment should be like. Grazing animals like the bison or Megatheirum would favour open plains, while Allosaurus anax might prefer a barren environment with a slight tolerance for scrubs and forest. So yeah, I think that works quite cool. I think it's not as necessarily as strict as the Planet Zoo, it's got all those different ones. I think they've done it in a way, because I don't like how every animal needs to have its native plant, because animals don't really work that way. I like this because it gives you a little bit more options. You don't have to have animals, or don't have to have plants, particularly from the animal's habitat or biome. But you can still have these requirements, and it fits your zoo a lot better. So I think that's a good middle ground between the Planet Zoo style and the old Prehistoric Kingdom style. So I quite like that. Also as well, water area. Under nature coverage, water in Update 18 will only require a minimum area, meters squared, rather than being a percentage of the enclosure. This ensures that as you build bigger habitats, the minimum water requirement will not scale to it. So I think that's quite good as well. Aquascape. For semi-aquatic or wetland animals like Baryonyx and Spinosaurus, we have one last requirement, the aquascape. To increase aquascape in an enclosure, the player will need to place aquatic plants such as lily pads, hyacinth, and eelgrass into bodies of water, so long as they're, you guessed it, placed in water. This change makes designing wetlands into a proper mechanic and gives us more of a reason to add things like underwater plants and other hydrophytes beyond the simple fact that they're pretty. So a little bit more purpose to it. So you can see here, these are all the hyacinths and stuff. And you can see instead of having the aquascape, you can see it's full of water and plants, but you can see the area is I guess the areas here are pretty fixed. So you don't have to, like, if you have a massive enclosure, it has to be a certain percentage, which I think is quite good because that'll mean you can have a little bit more creativity. Wetland biome. To accompany some of the new wetland animals like baryonyx in Update 18, we'll be expanding the biomes variety with over 40 new plants, including updated and brand new foliage. With these changes, you'll be able to create some stunning swamps, forests, and underwater environments. Like this. Look how beautiful that is. So you've got that cypress swamp vibe going on with Mama Spino and her babies. Very, very cute. There's another one here. You can see this one's like a mangrove. It reminds you a lot of mangroves. The Tyrannosaurus hanging out with his little buddies, little bubbies. Let's see what this one here is. Oh, this one looks quite nice. The Edmontosaurus hanging out in like a swampy type. Very, very cool. I'm very impressed by that. And then we've got this last one here. Oh, would you look at that? So that's underwater. I'm just so impressed with the underwater vibes from PK. Look at that. That's impressive. I'm genuinely impressed by that. And the Spinosaurus underwater and the eelgrass. Oh my gosh, that's impressive. That's so amazing. If you've got keen eyes, you might have also noticed a brand new ground texture too. This is because Update 18 will be replacing the wetland sand with a dedicated groundwater texture, making it super easy to create wet marshes and add a splash of water to any enclosure you might want. It's almost a little too fun to play with. So that's quite cute, actually. You know what that reminds me of? Jurassic World Evolution 3, but still cool. You know, I like the little groundwater feature. You can make little puddles and, that, and they can go squish, squish, squish. It'll be quite fun. I really like that. And it looks really nice there. They've really done a really good job making this look great. And cute little dilos. And this is the community survey reward. So thank you for your obligation or obliteration of our survey's response goal. And we're proud to unveil the first skin for everyone's favourite ground sloth, the mighty Megatheirum. This particular species lived in the pampas of South America, dwelling in grasslands with occasional woodland nearby. When this animal arrives at full release, each skin will feature a different fur length, this one being the shortest. And once again, thank you for your survey response. So this is going to be the new animal, Megatheirum. I quite like this one. It's got a short coat. It's not naked like the prehistoric planet Megatherium. I think this is kind of a good middle ground, because remember, these are large animals. And I like this kind of little coat. Again, there's going to be a shaggier one. I do think a shaggy one would probably fit a little bit better, because they do live in the pampas, would have been quite cold and dry. But other than that, really, really cool. Big fan of that. And again, different fur lengths. You can sort that out. You can pick and choose. So now we head down to the community spotlights. So this is by W3. Really great concept. That's the baryonyx by the looks of it. Either the baryonyx and the Spinosaurus. Pretty sure it's baryonyx. Looks amazing. Oh, this is cute. Assassin Spino. Really cute little Diplocaulus. Oh, I love that one. Diplocaulus is so cool. And this one's a little bit cheeky. This one's done by Inspect Art. And we love how this artist drew their species concepts, the PK team. That's really cool. So this one's here is Mammuts americanum, the American mastodon. Macrocenia patagonica. So this is Macrocenia. This is as well Glyptodon. So yeah, it came out really nice. Really awesome concept art. And if you don't know what this one is, I'm sure most people are familiar with these three. This is a small species of deer from Crete, I believe. Crete or Sicily, or one of those small islands off the Mediterranean. Got there and dwarfed itself, like the mammoths and the elephants that live there and the hippos. So a really, really cool little guy, and I think that would be a cool feature. I'd love the idea of like an islands DLC, where you get a bunch of island dwarfs like Europasaurus and, the small species of Paleoloxodon. I don't think it's called Falconi anymore, but I think something like that would be really cool. So, yeah. That's about it. Thank you for reading July's Dev Diary. The road to Update 18 will be an interesting challenge to tackle. We're excited to get going. Until then, we hope you enjoy Update 17.1 once it releases, and we'll see you next month for the August Dev Diary. Thank you very much to the PK team. So yeah, very, very excited for that. Not a big one today, but this Aquascape one, that is just incredible. I am quite impressed with what they've done here, and I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with Update 18 after they've, after when they get this one sorted. So they get Update 18, that's the last major update, and then they're going to be working on the full release. So yeah, very, very cool. So I really, really, really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. Always click that little bell icon to get notified about anything. See if you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys like and subscribe, and bye-bye.